Hey, what's up, guys? Mike Patrick. In this video, I want to I want to do a little critical thinking exercise, okay, guys? Now, this is going to be for entertainment purposes only, okay? This is just like live action role playing, okay? And this is just something that is a really good exercise for our minds, okay? Now, we like to look at things that doesn't necessarily exercise our minds. That's just straight up for entertainment purposes only. And many times we don't like to deep think about things, but when you do, when you have critical thinking exercises that you can do, it helps you with your logic, okay, and your rationale and your critical thinking abilities, okay, and your analytical abilities, okay. So it's something worthwhile doing. Now, also I want to say real quick as another disclaimer, it's think of it like this: how many of us like sci-fi movies or things like Marvel, Stan Lee, things like that, right? You know the creators of these different forms of entertainment that we see on TV, internet, whatever. Now, we don't associate them with their imagination, okay, and their choice of artistic expression. We don't really necessarily associate them with that, okay? So if you saw Stan Lee in the restaurant, you're not gonna run up to him and say, "Hey, you know, uh, do you really believe in Magneto? You know what I mean? Do you really believe in Wolverine?" Oh, and the storyline and things of that nature, right? He's gonna look at you like you crazy, like what in the world, dude? That's something I did. That's something I had a passion about, and so I created something, okay, and that's that, right? So I just want to look at stuff like what we're about to do right now, kind of take that scope, okay, take that perception for. So now look, guys, I was thinking, right, with the videos I just did on universal basic income. Okay, I did like a trifecta, like three videos, a little series, right? And so one of the points I was making in like the first or second video was I said, look, national debt. I always think national debt is a funny thing for people to get all caught up in because it's just paper money. It's not backed by anything. Money is used just to control people as a means of control and order, okay? And then the people have to give money value. The minute that people say, I'm gonna stop taking $1 for my berries, I'm gonna stop taking $1 for my services, whatever it may be, then the money no longer has any power. It has no real intrinsic power outside of what people agree upon and what we give it, right? So that's why when you think about the central banking systems, right? That's why they can keep printing off money because they know that as long as they can keep the money printed off, it doesn't have to be backed by anything. As long as we have a certain amount of resources that the money can pay for, okay, then we'll keep printing off money, and then people stay in order and under control. Do you really think they're gonna stop printing money at some point because the debt is 21 trillion and they're gonna say that's just enough because we got to start paying this debt back? And so therefore we'll let the world go into chaos because we got to pay somebody. We owe 21 trillion. We are 21 trillion in debt. Who you got to pay? Who you going to pay back? So are you going to play that game or are you just going to let the world shut down and let things run amok and you lose control, right? So that was a point that I was making. And then the thing is, right? I'm like, but just critical thinking, analytical thinking, right? I said, well, perhaps, right? This is something to think about. What if the central banks actually did owe somebody? All right, like what if they actually did owe somebody? That would make more sense, right? Because doesn't it seem silly for people to owe someone trillions of dollars, right? And who would let somebody have owe them trillions of dollars? Think about it. Like if you, let's say you and your boy, you and your homegirl, like y'all you borrow some money from them, right? At some point, common sense gonna set in. If I gave you $200 and you ain't get that back to me yet, you ain't gave me even a percentage of it back yet, or not a percentage that makes any real difference, right? And then I go and give you 200 more. Now you 400 in the hole. Then I go give you 200 more. You 600 in the hole, right? At some point, if it was really about the money, you know, if the money was really valuable to you at all, you would just stop letting them borrow money from you because you realize they not paying it back, and then it just the more money you borrow them, I mean borrow or let them borrow. I'm sorry. Then you know it's going to be more and more unlikely that they could ever pay you back. The debt just becomes to be too big. You know what I'm saying? If you had to come borrow $200 from me in the first place, right? Then that means you was already having financial issues, right? Where you couldn't provide the 200 yourself. And so why would I let that get to 1,000, right? And so then you ask yourself, well, why would a person let another person continue to borrow the money? Well, what if the more money I let you borrow, the more control? We was playing a game where it's like now you're more indebted to me, even spiritually. It's like, dang man, I owe this person 600. You know what I'm saying? I owe this person 600. So now that person knows that you ain't paying the money back. So it's like they'll be like, all right, well, can you just go do this for me? Go do that for me, or I do this. It's just or something subconsciously. What they would the person who owes them the money would just kind of feel like, well, then I can at least do this for them, or I can do. I'm gonna listen to what they say, or whatever, based on the fact that I know I owe them this money and I can't pay it back. So um, it will be a control thing, right? A person who the money doesn't matter to them, they'll keep letting you borrow it because they know that they're gaining more and more control over you. Okay, and then so that's what I was thinking. Like with the national now to get back to the national debt, what if that money really was owed to somebody? Okay, so let's look at it this way, right? Critical thinking exercise. All right, live action role play, as they like to say. So let's say you was in control the whole time, right? You was in control the whole time of uh of the money, right? But the person that you are letting borrow the money, you set up a system for them, you know, and then they'll have a certain amount of authority and power within the system, so they don't mind taking orders or listening to you because you only one person over top of them. How many people would love to just have one boss over top of them while they're over top of everybody else? You know what I mean? Most of you will take that deal, right? So um, the thing is, if I want to keep ownership of something, let's say I let you borrow this money to get a car, okay? And this is gonna be good right here. Let's say I let you borrow that money for you to get a car, okay? And as long as one or two things are happening, uh, I own that car until you pay me back. I let you borrow 600 to get that car. Okay, I'm gonna allow you to pay me that back. You can drive around a nice car. You can own that car. You appear to own that car. That car is yours. How many people are living like this now? How many people actually own their car? Think about it. Like most people, if they stop making their payments for 2 3 months, that car is repoed. So it's the same idea. I'll let you drive the car around, whatever, whatever, but you owe me this money. And so in the back of your mind, you know this is my car. And you can keep on, and as long as I can control you and get you to do what I want you to do, while I got you on the hook for this debt, then it's all good. I know you're not going to pay me the money back. The money means nothing. It's just paper. I'm more worried about the control that it's going to have over you, okay, for you to do what I say, for you to be how I want you to be. Okay. Now, this is the thing. And then you get to a point where let's just say the only thing that does have any type of real value is the car, because it's raw materials, right? Cars can be made from metals, you know, now plastics, but like a good sturdy German car back in the day, straight up metal. You know what I mean? Straight up, different valuable precious metals, right? So that's the only thing that actually does have some real value. You see what I'm saying? So let's say you're tearing that car up, right? You're tearing that car up, and so I say, look, they're not paying me the money back. I never cared about the money. All I ever cared about was the car and the control that I had over them. And the minute they start, but the thing is, the minute I start losing, the minute they're not doing what I say enough, the minute the things start running amok, they're not running this thing how we agreed upon this thing being ran. The minute they're tearing up that car, and that car is the only thing that has real value, before I let you tear that car all the way up, I'll just take my I'll just in decency, because guess what, it's like it's like a mafia, like the mafia do things with class, right? They might be some of the most vicious, most brutal, you know what I mean, people there is, but they handle their business with class. You see what I'm saying? So 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 from a principle standpoint, look, you owe me this money, I'm gonna repo the car. All right. When deep down I know I've been letting you tear that car for a long time, but now I'm losing control of you. That's the main thing. And then, not to mention, like I said, now that car is being tore up to a certain degree, to where that's the only thing that has value. In order for me to be able to redeem that car and to bring that car back around before it's completely too late, you see what I'm saying? Then I'll just go ahead, I'll say you defaulted on your debt. You know what I mean? All fairness, you defaulted on your debt. I let you default on your debt. I let you run up, your debt. I gave you the longest time to pay it back. You're not paying it back. Time's up. Let me get that car. You know what I'm saying? Let me get that car, like that. So, and then you would look at it, that's very sophisticated. And how would somebody that's very sophisticated operate? Would it be like somebody up the street just running up, oh man, you know you took my car, you know what I'm saying, you took my this that, pull out a gun and just shoot you? Would they be savage like that? Or the more classy and the more sophisticated they are, they would do things a certain type of way with more sophistication. You see what I'm saying? And intelligence. So now, guys, I know this one was one of those ones that's like, kind of almost kind of encrypted and things like that. Um, but it's something to think about. Just think about what I just said, okay? And don't forget, guys, this is just a critical thinking exercise, live action role playing, okay? All right, guys, peace.